Hi everyone, in this video I'm going to demonstrate on how to model tall buildings using FrameCE. I'm going to use an existing model created using AutoCAD. It's a DXE file, so I'm gonna import that file to FrameCE. Now FrameCE is reading the file. It's quite a large file and it takes a few seconds to complete the loading of the file and then constructing into a model in FrameCE. So I have to wait until FrameCE is done creating and reading the whole file and putting up into a frame model. Now it's done. Okay, this is how the model looks like when opened in FrameCE. This is an 11-story building. This is just the framing. So I need to declare where the supports are. For that, I have to select the nodes. Now I have selected the nodes, then I will declare that these nodes are support. So I will go to nodes, support, and then declare that these nodes are footing and fixed at the ground. Okay, so I have now the support declared. Next thing I need to do is to populate the section library and go to materials menu and then add the section properties for columns and beams. This is the section, the concrete properties. And now I have the section library. So the next thing I need to do is to declare the section sizes of the beams and columns. First, I will assume that the columns in the first and second levels are of the same size. So I will select these two, these columns for the first two layers. Edit the beam properties or section properties and designate the size. Okay, now next is I will declare that the size of the first and second levels are the same size for beams. So to make it quicker, I will select all the elements including the columns in the first two levels and then unselect the columns, leaving only the beams being selected. So I can now change the properties of the beams. Okay, and then next I will change the properties of the columns for the layers above the second level. and then declare the properties of these columns. Okay, I have now the column properties declared. So next is to declare the beam properties of the levels above the second floor. So for selecting all the beams quickly, I need to select initially the whole, everything above the second level, and then unselect the columns, leaving only the beams being selected. Now I have selected all the beams, and I can declare the section properties of the beams. Okay, here. Now all the section properties have been declared. The next thing I need to do is to apply the loads or slab loads for all layers or all levels. Now there are different ways of doing this, but the quickest way to declare a slab load and create slabs as well is to select the beams wherein there are slabs to be created. So I will select all the beams that will have these slabs. And then I will go to loads menu, create slab, and then declare the slab properties, the thickness, the dead load pressure, and then click OK. And then FrameCE will automatically create slab for all the levels that I have selected. Now, depending on how many beams are there, it takes a while if there are more beams, and it's quicker if there are less beams. Okay, it's done. So I have now the loads, the slab loads, and the members of the frame declared on now you can see here all the floor levels have slab and slab loads. Now I can proceed with the design or adding more loads to the framing system. So I will stop from here, and I hope you learned something from this tutorial and have fun using FrameCE.